Marvel Comics, Marvel Universe Series 1, Trading Cards, Impel 1990, Famous Battle, Category The Thing, vs. The Hulk, Win, Fantastic Four number 25, 26 April, May, 1964, where, New York City, in an attempt to take revenge on the New York-based super team known as the Avengers, the Hulk was tearing up Manhattan. Only the Thing had a chance of stopping them and saving the city, but as powerful as he was, the Thing knew he was no match for the Hulk in a one-on-one slugfest. Instead, he applied a skillful, often desperate, combination of wit and muscle against the Green Goliath, using everything from girders and buses to high-voltage power lines. The Thing slowed down the Hulk long enough for the Avengers and the rest of the Fantastic Four to finally join the battle and chase the Hulk away. Fantastic Four vs. Galactus, Win, Fantastic Four number 48-50, March to May, 1966, where, New York City, the Silver Surfer had discovered that Earth possessed the energy as master, Galactus. Needing to survive, the Surfer summoned the World Destroyer to New York City. There, the Surfer realized the wrongness of his actions, and joined the Fantastic Four in their desperate attempt to stop Galactus. It was only with the aid of the mysterious alien called the Watcher that the FF got the only weapon that could stop Galactus, the Ultimate Nullifier. Defeated, Galactus left Earth, but to punish his former herald, he created an energy barrier around Earth, thus making it the Surfer's prison. Fantastic Four vs. Doctor Doom, Win, Fantastic Four number 57-60, December, 1966 to March, 1967, where, New York City, Latveria. Elsewhere, Doctor Doom had stolen the Silver Surfer's power cosmic to use in conquering the world, and no weapon on Earth could stop him. Even Doom's arch-enemies, the Fantastic Four, fell before his evil might. Out of desperation, Mr. Fantastic built the anti-cosmic flying wing to drain the cosmic energy from Doom. When Doom set out to destroy the robot craft, it led him to the edge of space, a barrier that Galactus, the Surfer's former master, had forbade the Surfer to pass. The impact sent Doom falling to Earth, stripped of his power and defeated. Thor vs. Surtur, Win, Thor number 351-353, January, March, 1985, where, Asgard, Surtur, the Flame Demon, was poised at the gates of Asgard, legendary home of the Norse gods. His plan was to thrust his sword of Twilight into Asgard's eternal flame and create the ultimate weapon of destruction, which he would use to tear apart the very fabric of the universe. Thor summoned the power of 1,000 suns and hurled it at Surtur, but Surtur mockingly turned the power against Thor and smashed his way into Asgard. The universe appeared doomed, but Thor, together with his half-brother Loki and their father Odin, launched a counterattack. Surtur was defeated, but Odin appeared to have been destroyed along with him. Spider-Man vs. Kraven, Win, Web of Spider-Man number 31 and 32, Amazing Spider-Man number 293 and 294, Spectacular Spider-Man number 131 and 132, October to November, 1987. Kraven the Hunter confronted the fact that he was an old man, refusing to quietly retire. He began his last hunt. His goal was twofold. He wanted to both defeat and become his arch-enemy Spider-Man. He tranquilized Spider-Man, then buried him, alive. While Spider-Man lay trapped in his coffin, Kraven, dressed as Spider-Man, launched a brutal war against criminals, eventually capturing the supervillain, Venom. Spider-Man ultimately escaped and found Kraven, but before he could bring Kraven to justice, Kraven died, leaving a confession of all he had done. Spider-Man vs. Dr. Octopus, Win, Amazing Spider-Man number 53-56, October to December, 1967, January, 1968, where, New York City, Dr. Octopus had committed the crime of the century. He had stolen the Defense Department's new weapon, the Nullifier. Even worse, Spider-Man had helped him, or so it appeared, after Doc Ock had used the device to rob Spidey of his memory and convince him that he, too, was a supervillain. But Octopus's plan to use Spider-Man as a criminal pawn ended when the two had a brutal falling out, which ended with the Nullifier back in the Army's hands. Spider-Man escaped, but it was not until much later that he regained his memory. Daredevil vs. Bullseye, win, Daredevil number 172, July, 1981, where, New York City, Bullseye had become the Kingpin's assassin and a key player in the Kingpin's battle to regain control of all the New York City mobs. Daredevil vowed to stop the Kingpin and bring both him and Bullseye to justice. In a sub-basement of a skyscraper, Daredevil and Bullseye faced off for a final battle. At one point, Bullseye, who can turn any object into a lethal weapon, attempted to use Daredevil's own billy club to kill him, but Daredevil gained the upper hand and defeated Bullseye, sending him to jail. The Kingpin, however, remained free. Daredevil vs. Kingpin, win, Daredevil number 171, June, 1981, where, New York City, Daredevil had broken into the Kingpin's secret vault, searching for evidence that would permanently put the Overlord of Crime in prison, but before Daredevil could finish the job, Kingpin discovered him and attacked, and eventually defeated him. Kingpin then had Daredevil bound in chains and thrown into a water main, certain that this would eliminate him, but Daredevil escaped, vowing never to underestimate him again. Daredevil continued his quest to stop the Kingpin. Silver Surfer vs. Mephisto, win, The Silver Surfer, Volume 1, Number 3, December, 1968, where, Mephisto's infernal realm. From his extra-dimensional realm, Mephisto spied upon the Silver Surfer, a being whose utter nobility threatened the Lord of Darkness's dire quest to subjugate all mankind. He vowed to enlist the Surfers into his ranks, or destroy him. Mephisto used Shalabah, the woman the Surfer had long loved, as bait to attract him to his realm, but his efforts to tempt the Surfer with wealth and power came to naught. The Surfer resisted. Mephisto finally attempted to absorb the Surfer's soul into his own, but its purity was too much for the evil Mephisto to take. Defeated, he finally released the Surfer and freed Shalabah, vowing to crush his silver-skinned adversary next time. Captain America vs. the Red Skull, win, Tales of Suspense number 79 to 81. July to September, 1966, where, a remote tropical island, the evil Red Skull had stolen the most awesome weapon in the world, the Cosmic Cube, an energy device that can manipulate matter, relishing his godlike power. The Red Skull repeatedly allowed Captain America to attack him, and each time, when Captain America was about to win, the Red Skull would use the Cosmic Cube to savagely strike him down. Finally, Captain America used the Red Skull's own arrogance as a weapon to defeat him and keep him from ever using the Cosmic Cube again.
The Dark Phoenix Saga, win, X-Men number 129 to 137, January to September, 1980, where, Earth, the Moon, various galaxies, the evil mutant mastermind seized mental control of Phoenix and released her dark side in a plot to destroy her fellow X-Men. She became murderously uncontrollable. In an escalating wave of destruction, she assumed the identity of Dark Phoenix and annihilated a solar system. The Shi'ar, an alien race, demanded that she be destroyed before she could do more damage. In a battle on the moon, the X-Men sought to defend her from the Shi'ar's greatest warriors. Phoenix realized she truly was a menace far too dangerous to live. With a parting word of love to the X-Man Cyclops, she died, the willing victim of one of the battlefield's traps.
X-Men vs. The Avengers, win, X-Men vs. The Avengers Limited Series number 1 to 4, April to July, 1987, where, various locations on Earth, the Avengers sought to bring Magneto, the mutant master of magnetism, before a world court tribunal to be tried for his crimes against humanity. The X-Men believed that if such a trial were held, Magneto would be lynched by a mutant-hating mob, in an attempt to save him. The X-Men fought the Avengers, but in the end he surrendered, hoping that by going to trial he would finally end mankind's anti-mutant prejudice. Magneto was acquitted, but the judgment only served to accelerate mankind's growing hatred for mutants. X-Men vs. Magneto, win, X-Men number 104, June 1975, where, Muir Island, Scotland, visiting the Mutant Research Center on Muir Island, Wolverine, Banshee, Storm, Nightcrawler and Colossus didn't realize that the X-Men's greatest foe, Magneto, had escaped his special prison cell in the complex. The mutant master of magnetism unleashed his near-limitless power, and was about to destroy them when Cyclops arrived. The team's leader was the only X-Man who had experience battling Magneto, and was able to fight him to a standstill. Before Magneto could launch a new attack, the X-Men left for the US to save their mentor, Professor X, from an assassination attempt. Fantastic Four vs. X-Men, win, X-Men number 1 to 4, February to June, 1987, where, various locations on Earth, Shadowcat was dying. The X-Men sought to save their teammates by asking Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four for help. However, a series of misunderstandings turned the two groups against each other. To make matters worse, the evil Dr. Doom callously exploited the situation. Saving Shadowcat's life became a test of wills between Mr. Fantastic and Doom. Mr. Fantastic ultimately saved Shadowcat. In the end, the heroes learned that Dr. Doom had manipulated the crisis from the start and aimed to destroy the Fantastic Four. Fall of the Mutants, win, X-Men number 225-227, New Mutants number 5961, X-Factor number 2426, January, March, 1988, where, Earth, manipulated by a wave of anti-mutant hysteria, the U.S. government passed into law the Mutant Registration Act. The result was an across-the-board persecution of mutants that culminated with several massacres. To defend themselves, the mutant superhero teams X-Factor, the New Mutants and the X-Men had to fight an astonishing array of merciless foes, including Apocalypse, the Right and the ironically named Freedom Force. The heroes succeeded in defeating their enemies, but these greater battle remains, the revocation of the cruel Mutant Registration Act. The Evolutionary War, win, X-Factor Annual number 3, Punisher Annual number 1, Silver Surfer Annual number 1, New Mutants Annual number 4, Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 22, Fantastic Four Annual number 21, X-Men Annual number 12, Web of Spider-Man Annual number 4, West Coast Avengers Annual number 3, Spectacular Spider-Man Annual number 6, Avengers Annual number 17, 1988, where, Earth, outer space. The enigmatic and incredibly powerful High Evolutionary believed that mankind's evolution was at a critical threshold, and that his opportunity to transform all mankind into mutants was now. Callously disregarding the pain, suffering and devastation his efforts would cause, the High Evolutionary began to act. Earth's most powerful superheroes united to stop him. Though the High Evolutionary's overall plan was defeated, the legacy of his efforts continues to affect mankind. Atlantis attacks, win, Silver Surfer Annual number 2, Iron Man Annual number 10, X-Men Annual number 13, Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 14, Punisher Annual number 2, Spectacular Spider-Man Annual number 2, Daredevil Annual number 5, Avengers Annual number 18, New Mutants Annual number 9, X-Factor Annual number 4, Web of Spider-Man Annual number 5, Thor Annual number 14, Fantastic Four Annual number 22, 1989, where, Earth, outer space, to escape his mystic exile and conquer Earth, which he had ruled before recorded history. The demons that enlisted the aid of the evil Atlantean Lord Gore and Empress Lara to hide their conspiracy. The two under-tyrants sent the armies of Atlantis to attack the surface world while they reassembled the Serpent Crown, an artifact of great magical power that could reset. Earth's superheroes narrowly defeated the Atlantean hordes, but by then the heroes had to face Set himself. In the final battle, the heroes defeated Set and forced him back into his mystic prison. Acts of Vengeance, win, Avengers Spotlight number 26, Avengers number 312 and 313, Avengers West Coast number 53rd 55th of December, 1989, February, 1990 and many others where, Earth, led by Loki, the evil Norse god, Dr. Doom, the Red Skull, Magneto, the Kingpin, the Mandarin and the Wizard conspired to destroy their superhero enemies. Their method: trade enemies so that the superheroes would have to fight unfamiliar opponents. The plan almost worked, but the Avengers and their fellow superheroes rose to the challenge. Aided by a violent fallout among the conspirators, the superheroes triumphed over all to attack them. Spider-Man vs. Venom, win, Amazing Spider-Man number 317, May, 1988 July, 1989, where, New York City, the living, alien black costume that had once almost taken possession of Spider-Man was back. It had seized control of embittered newspaper reporter Eddie Brock and turned him into the villainous Venom. Now, it hungered for revenge against Spider-Man. Venom, who knew Spider-Man's secret identity of Peter Parker, began by terrorizing Parker's wife, Mary Jane. Then, Venom boasted that Parker's elderly Aunt May was next. After a series of battles that only showed how unstoppable Venom was, Spider-Man used a last-ditch psychological trick that devastated the aliens till Venom was defeated. Nick Fury vs. Hydra. When, Strange Tales number 135-158, August 1965 to July 1967, where, various locations on Earth, a high-tech terrorist organization known as HYDRAT had launched a bid to seize control of the world, led by Nick Fury, SHIELD, Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division, sent its agents, armed with some of the most advanced weapons in the world, against Hydra. Although SHIELD eventually triumphed, Hydra was not dead. In subsequent battles, Fury would discover the ominous truth of Hydra's motto, cut off an arm and two more shall take its place. The Armor Wars. When, Iron Man number 225-232, December 1987 to July 1988, where, various locations on Earth, the mercenary Spymaster had stolen the advanced Iron Man armor technology and sold its secrets to anyone who could meet his price. Among the buyers were some of Iron Man's bitterest enemies. Obsessed with the theft, Iron Man sacrificed everything, including his Avengers membership, in his quest to prevent all who had purchased his technology from using it. After battling Beetle, Siltman, Controller, the Mandroids, the Guardsmen and Firepower, he succeeded in repossessing all the technology, but the price he paid in lost friendships still haunts him. Daredevil vs. Wolverine. When, Daredevil number 249, December 1987, where, New York City, the hired killer Bushwhacker was on a non-stop mutant murdering spree. The mutant hero Wolverine was literally inches away from killing Bushwhacker when Daredevil interfered. Bushwhacker escaped but was quickly cornered. It was then that the manhunt turned into a desperate battle of reason versus passion for Daredevil. Wolverine had more than enough motive to want to see Bushwhacker dead, but Daredevil wanted to bring Bushwhacker to justice, even though Bushwhacker, when faced with capture, demanded Wolverine's brand of justice. It was Daredevil who won. Bushwhacker wanted prison. Daredevil vs. Punisher. When, Daredevil number 257, August 1988, where, New York City, Daredevil and the Punisher were separately seeking out through Coppersmith, the murderer who had randomly spiked aspirin bottles with cyanide. The Punisher's brand of vigilante justice demanded that Coppersmith die for his crime, but Daredevil wanted to bring the murderer before a court of law. A rooftop battle between the two heroes ensued, with Coppersmith as witness. Ultimately, Daredevil won. Coppersmith was tried in court and imprisoned. Spider-Man vs. Green Goblin. When, Amazing Spider-Man #S3940, August-September 1966, where, New York City, the evil Green Goblin had a new plan to destroy Spider-Man. He would capture the web-slinger and reveal his secret to the world. After trapping Peter Parker, before he could change to Spider-Man, and carrying him to his secret warehouse, the Goblin revealed his own identity. Parker was astonished that the Green Goblin was Norman Osborn, his best friend's father. Peter managed to knock Osborn out, changed into Spider-Man, stripped the Green Goblin costume off Osborn, and carried the unconscious man out. When Osborn awoke, he had no memory of being the Green Goblin, or of Spider-Man's secret identity. Spider-Man vs. Hobgoblin. When, Web of Spider-Man number 4748, March, April, 1989, where, New York City sewers. Craving enough power to destroy Spider-Man, the villainous Hobgoblin struck a deal with demons, but the demons gave Hobgoblin more than he bargained for. They turned him into a living, breathing monster. Blaming Spider-Man for his misfortune, Hobgoblin went on a berserk spree of destruction. Encountering his web-slinging enemy, the Hobgoblin savagely attacked. Finally, during their climactic battle in the sewer, Spider-Man took advantage of a fiery distraction to defeat Hobgoblin. The Hulk vs. Wolverine, when, Incredible Hulk number 340, February, 1988, where, the countryside near Dallas, Texas, the Hulk was on a rampage. Wolverine arrived and was ambushed by the Hulk. At first, Wolverine tried to reason with him, but the Hulk refused to listen. The result was a bloody, brutal battle that almost flattened the forest, before even more destruction could occur. U.S. government agent Clay Quartermain arrived and forcefully reminding the Hulk of their urgent secret mission to find missing gamma bombs. Thus the battle ended in a draw, with both combatants unhappy with the outcome. The Hulk vs. Spider-Man, when, Incredible Hulk number 349, November, 1988, where, Las Vegas, Nevada, Spider-Man crossed paths with the Hulk while chasing Alpha and Charlie, members of Cyborg mercenary group called Hordes, and Spider-Man's actions enraged the Hulk, seeking to teach Spider-Man a lesson he'd never forget. The Hulk forced Spider-Man to fight him. The battle itself ended in a draw, but the Hulk accomplished his goal. He had taught Spider-Man a bitter lesson about how useless the power of a superhero can be. Captain America vs. Wolverine, when, Captain America Annual number 8, 1986, where, New Jersey, Wolverine had broken into the Adamco foundry in search of the killer robot, Tess-1. Captain America, also searching for Tess-1, found the quick-tempered Wolverine instead. Because of a misunderstanding, the two heroes became locked in a life-and-death battle, until Tess-1 launched a surprise attack. Captain America and Wolverine immediately set aside their differences and joined forces against the robot. As a team, they destroyed Tess-1, but with that done, the alliance ended and Wolverine disappeared into a forest. Silver Surfer vs. Thanos, when, Silver Surfer Volume 2 number 3438, February to June, 1990, where, various locations in the universe, Thanos, the insane cosmic-powered being who Death had returned. Convinced that the Silver Surfer couldn't stop him, he arrogantly taught the Surfer that he planned to present the lives of half the population of the known universe as an offering to his dark mistress. The battle between them raged across the universe. In the end, the Silver Surfer thought he had destroyed Thanos, but Thanos had used a double of himself to trick him, leaving the true Thanos free to complete his plan. X-Factor vs. Apocalypse, when, X-Factor number 25th of February, 1988, where, New York City, the evil mutant known as Apocalypse had unleashed his death-dealing horsemen of war, famine, pestilence and the angel of death on the citizens of New York City. He sought to sweep Earth clean of mankind so that mutants would be free to rule. X-Factor escaped from Apocalypse's prison platforms and counterattacked. For X-Factor, this battle was their last chance to save humanity. They not only triumphed, they also succeeded in seizing Apocalypse's incredible spaceship, and although Apocalypse escaped, X-Factor took comfort in knowing that mankind was saved. X-Men vs. Freedom Force, when, X-Men number 206, June, 1986, where, San Francisco, using the newly enacted Mutant Registration Act and their own recent federal pardon as excuses for revenge, the evil Freedom Force staged a surprise attack on the heroic X-Men. The battle destroyed an entire city neighborhood. The X-Men suffered a crushing defeat. However, before Freedom Force could deliver a final, fatal blow to the X-Men, the San Francisco Police Department arrived and stopped them. Freedom Force left, determined to get a federal war that would legally seal the X-Men's fate. But before they could, the X-Men vanished. Wolverine vs. Sabretooth, when, X-Men number 212 and 213, December, 1986, January, 1987, where, the sewers of New York City and the X-Mansion, the mutant Morlocks had been massacred by the mutant-hating Marauders. Wolverine vowed to avenge their deaths, and followed the Marauders' trail into the sewers. There, he was ambushed by Sabretooth. The battle was brutally brief, with Wolverine collapsing part of the sewer in front of Sabretooth. Soon after, Sabretooth staged an attack on the X-Mansion. He almost killed Wolverine's teammate, Psylocke, but Wolverine intervened. Wolverine and Sabretooth's subsequent battle took them over a steep cliff into the ocean. The battle continued underwater until only Wolverine surfaced. X-Men in the Savage Land, when, Marvel Fanfare number 3 and 4, July to September, 1982, where, the Savage Land, the X-Men were on a quest to find the dread psychic vampire, Sauron, and cure him of his curse so that he would return to being a normal human. Carl Legos. But once the X-Men followed him to the prehistoric Savage Land, they were captured by his mutates. Sauron planned to use the X-Men's mutant life energy to give him the power he needed to launch a worldwide campaign of conquest. The X-Men broke free, defeated Sauron, and, with their mentors Professor X's help, cured him of being Sauron. Iron Man vs Titanium Man, when, Tales of Suspense number 6971, September, November, 1965, where, North Africa, Titanium Man, the superpowered champion of the Soviet Union, challenged Iron Man to a duel. The Soviet super soldiers' goals were simple: crush Iron Man, achieve a stunning propaganda victory for his government and gain vast wealth, power and glory for himself. However, Titanium Man's self-serving schemes came to naught, for, after an epic, globally televised battle, it was Iron Man who emerged victorious for all the world to see. Thor vs Loki, when, Journey into Mystery number 85, November, 1962 to the present day, where, Earth, Asgard, the known universe, and a bitter rivalry that has spanned centuries. These two half-brothers, the Norse deities Thor, god of thunder, and Loki, god of evil, have battled each other repeatedly. At times they have agreed to uneasy, temporary truces, but more often, their struggles have endangered Earth and the home of the gods, Asgard. Loki is willing to pay any price, short of destroying the universe, to eliminate his heroic sibling, and Thor will make any sacrifice to thwart his evil half-brother's lately sinister scheme. The Kree Skrull War, when, Avengers number 93-97, November, 1971, March, 1972, where, Earth, the universe, the Kree and the Skrulls, two alien civilizations, were locked in a war of annihilation, and Earth was caught in the middle. Despite the seemingly hopeless odds, the Avengers, Earth's greatest superheroes, were determined to protect their planet, by dividing their forces and attacking the battle fleets and home planets of both sides. The Avengers blunted the aliens' assault and turned back the invaders. In an awesome display of power and courage, the Avengers demonstrated that, as long as heroes like themselves lived to defend it, the Earth would be forever unconquerable. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for upcoming videos for other cars categories. Subscribe and click notification.